In today's lecture, we are going to study about transport phenomena. It is the subject which deals with the movement of different physical quantities in any chemical or mechanical process, and it describes the basic principles and laws of transport. It also describes the relations and similarities among different types of transport that may occur in a gaseous system. So what is meant by transport phenomena? We know that this transport phenomena, it occurs due to the thermal agitation of molecules. Thermal agitation means that the endless motion of molecules of a gas that is associated with heat. The molecules of gas is in continuous state of rapid motion. Because of this, any variation in the physical parameters like the temperature or pressure in one region of the gas will be transferred to the other region. For example, if in one region of the gas is denser than the other region, the gas molecules will move from the denser region to the rarer region. As it is shown in this figure, this is the denser region. The molecules will move from this region to this region. So therefore, we can imagine that the gaseous system is made up of different layers of this type, which are shown here. Therefore, we get the phenomena or the transfer of the physical properties. The physical properties which can be transferred in this case, they are momentum, energy, and mass. The phenomena is explained on the basis of movement of gas molecules. During this process, the momentum, the energy, or the mass can be transferred from one region to the other region. According to the kinetic theory of gases, the molecules of a gas are in constant state of this motion we have seen. The gas molecules will then come to a steady state, and when it is not in the steady state, then the three types of transfer can take place. The first one is the transport of momentum. The second one is the transport of energy, and the third one is the transport of mass. Now let us see the transport of momentum. These different layers of gas which are shown here, these layers can have different speeds. The molecules, they may move in different speeds in these layers. Because of the velocity difference, which is if you take these two layers, and the difference in the velocity will be given by dv by dx. The velocity gradient, because of the relative motion of these layers, the faster moving layer will transfer momentum to the slower layers. If suppose this is at higher velocity and this is at lower velocity, then the momentum will be transferred from higher layer to the lower moving layer. This phenomena gives rise to viscosity, and viscosity is the phenomena which is due to the transport of the momentum. It means that here the phenomena of viscosity arises. Then the second one is the transport of energy. These different layers of gas which are shown here, they may be at different temperatures. So they may have different temperatures, and due to this, the molecules at a higher temperature will have greater energy, and to bring the steady state, the molecules will transfer energy from the higher energy molecules to the lower energy molecules, or high temperature to the low temperature. This energy is in the form of heat, and it gives rise to the phenomena of thermal conductivity. So then we have here thermal conductivity. The third one is the transport of mass. These different layers which are shown here, these layers may have different concentration of molecules. So the concentration of molecules may be different in different layers, and then the molecules will move from higher concentration to the lower concentration. This is the transfer of mass from a region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration. This is the phenomena of diffusion. So thus we have seen the three phenomena, that diffusion, thermal conductivity and viscosity, which are because of the transport of mass, energy and momentum respectively. We can see some of the examples in this case. The spreading of order is an example of this diffusion of mass. Then this heat conductivity is due to the transfer or transport of energy. We have also seen that the raindrop feels a drag while it is falling down. This deceleration of the raindrop is because of the loss of momentum or the transport of momentum to the surrounding atmosphere. So this is an example of the transport of momentum. So in this way we can say that transport phenomena are all the irreversible processes of statistical nature which arises from the random continuous motion of molecules and mostly in fluids. They all involve the transfer of this mass, energy or momentum in thermodynamic systems which are not in equilibrium. So to bring a steady state condition or equilibrium condition, this transfer or transport phenomena takes place. Now we'll see the transport of momentum, which gives rise to viscosity. The different layers, as they are shown here, different layers of gas, these are may have different velocities. This will give rise to relative motion of the layers, and because of this relative motion, the layer which is faster moving will impart momentum to the slower moving layer to bring about equilibrium of the state, and thus the transport of momentum, this gives rise to the phenomena of viscosity. The drag which is experienced is given by F is equal to minus eta A dV by dx, where this eta is the coefficient of viscosity and A is the area of the layer and dV by dx is the velocity gradient. So to derive the expression, let us consider a gas which is flowing along the x-axis, along the horizontal surface OX, from this left to right. The layer velocity of the layer which is in contact with this surface, it is taken as 0. So let us change its color first. So this will be taken as 0, and as we go in the upward direction, the velocity is increasing. This let us take the uniform rate as dV by dz, which is known as the velocity gradient. So we have velocity gradient between different layers. Let us consider this one layer AB moving with drift velocity capital V here, which is situated at a distance of z from this axis. This distance is taken as z up to this point. We'll consider two more layers EF and CD, just above and just below the layer AB at a distance lambda, where lambda is the mean free path. So if we are considering this as the mean free path, it means that the molecules moving vertically up or vertically down will not suffer any collision while moving between these two layers, because this is the mean free path. So then we can take some of the terms. Let us define some of the terms. The velocity of the gas, which this in the layer EF, the velocity of the gas in the layer EF will be equal to V plus dV by dz into lambda. This is the velocity of the layer, velocity of the molecules in the layer EF, and the velocity of the molecules in the layer CD will be equal to V minus dV by dz into lambda. So we have found out these two velocities, and now we know that the molecules, as they are in thermal motion or thermal agitation, then the molecules, they are moving in. So due to thermal agitation, the molecules are moving in all possible directions, and thus the average number of molecules which are moving along positive or negative axis, any one of the axes, will be 1/6 of the total number of molecules. And so we are taking this as 1/6 into total number of molecules as the number of molecules along any one direction. We will take n as the number of molecules per unit volume, and c as the average velocity of the molecules at a given temperature, and we will take m as the mass of the molecule, and therefore the number of molecules passing downwards from EF to CD. So we'll see this figure again. The number of molecules which are passing downward from this layer EF to the layer CD through this layer AB per unit area will be equal to Nc by 6, and therefore the forward momentum which is lost per unit area per second by the layer EF. So this is the forward momentum which is lost per unit area per second by the layer EF will be equal to m into Nc by 6 into V plus dV by dz into lambda. And in the similar way, we can say that the number of molecules which are moving upward through this layer AB from the layer CD to the layer EF through the layer AB per unit area per second will also be equal to Nc by 6, and therefore the forward momentum which is gained per unit area per second by the layer EF will be equal to m into Nc by 6 into V minus dV by dz. So this one is the momentum which is lost by the layer EF, and this is the momentum which is gained by the layer EF, and therefore the net momentum lost because the layer molecules in the layer EF, they are at higher velocities than the molecules in the layer CD, and therefore there will be net loss of momentum, and the net loss of momentum will be equal to the difference between these two values, and that comes out to be equal to m into n into c divided by 6. In the bracket we have V plus dV by dz into lambda minus V minus dV by dz into lambda. When you solve this, we get this V and V gets cancelled, and dV by dz into lambda plus dV by dz into lambda will be 2 times of this value, and this 2 and 6 we can cancel here, and therefore we have 1 by 3 m into n into c lambda dV by dz. So the layer CD below AB gains the same amount of momentum. This is the lost by the layer EF, so it will be gained by the layer CD. I'll write in the next, and hence we say that the layer EF which is above AB, it will try to accelerate the layer AB, and the layer CD which is below the layer AB will try to retard its motion, and therefore the backward dragging force per unit area will be equal to gain or loss of momentum per unit area per second, and hence we can write this F as equal to 1 by 3 m into n into c lambda dV by dz. Now this force, dragging force, must be equal to the viscous force or the tangential force, which is defined per unit area as eta dV by dz, and when we compare these two values, we get eta dV by dz as equal to 1 by 3 m into c into lambda dV by dz, and therefore we get the coefficient of viscosity eta is equal to 1 by 3 m into c into n into c lambda. So we can replace this m into n which as the density. Eta is equal to 1 by 3 density, that is rho, c into lambda. This is the formula for the coefficient of viscosity. In this way we can derive the formula for the coefficient of viscosity on the basis of transport phenomena, that is the transport of momentum. Let us now see the effect of temperature on the coefficient of viscosity. Now the density of the gas, it decreases with increase in temperature. So if the temperature increases, the density decreases, but the mean free path is directly proportional to temperature, as we have seen in our last lectures. It increases in the same proportion. So therefore this term rho into lambda will remain constant, and therefore we know that the average velocity c is directly proportional to the square root of temperature, and hence from the formula for eta which we have seen just now, since this eta is directly proportional to c and c is directly proportional to root t, we get this coefficient of viscosity as directly proportional to root t, that is the coefficient, the viscosity, it increases with the increase in temperature. Now let us see the effect of pressure on this eta, that is the coefficient of viscosity. Again we know that density rho of a gas, it increases with increase in pressure, but wavelength lambda, the mean free path, that is lambda, that is the mean free path, it decreases in the same proportion, and therefore this rho into lambda, it remains constant. And we also know that c, that is average molecular speed, it is independent of pressure, it does not depend on pressure. So therefore from this expression eta, which is given by 1/3 rho c lambda, we find that since c, this term, the product is constant and c is independent of pressure, we can say that eta is independent of pressure, and in this way we can study the effect of temperature on this coefficient of viscosity and the effect of pressure on the coefficient of viscosity. In our next lecture we are going to study about thermal conductivity.